So, Pap, now we have an official President Trump, as it were. I'm still going to refer to him as the President Electoral, out of consideration of his win. But next up, we start thinking about 2018 and 2020, and in terms of electoral politics. But one of the things, obviously, is talking about Democrats both not only fighting Trump, but also presenting a proactive view of a political vision. And part of that is, fighting Trump on the ACA and pushing for single-payer expansion. But, just a week and a half ago, not even, we had guys like Cory Booker, who has been positioning for 2020, who in the past, I think people have been rather dubious about because of his relationships with Wall Street and with the school privatization movement. And he gave us, maybe it was a little bit over a week ago, but I don't know if we talked about it, a perfect example of what is problematic with a guy like Cory Booker, who does a great job going and arguing against Jeff Sessions as Attorney General. Important to put that marker down. But then the next night, in the dead of the night, votes against, granted, non-binding resolution, but an amendment that would have called for reimportation of Canadian drugs. He joins 11 other Democrats who voted against it, but he came from one of the bluest states. And, of course, they all had something in common, these 12 Democrats.
Well, let me make a prediction. Cory Booker is yesterday's news. He's a train wreck. This is something, the theory is, I do something stupid, but it's people are going to forget. We won't let this forget. Nobody's going to forget what Cory Booker did here. Nobody is. The social media is killing him. Yeah. I mean, he is a dead man walking. And you know what? That's a good thing because you'd rather deal with it now. They were trying to make Cory Booker into the next Obama and this great visionary. Yeah, Cory Booker goes and talks about Sessions. I mean, who's not going to agree with him? I mean, Cory Booker's always out on these issues that are just, nobody's going to disagree with because it doesn't cost him any money. But the issue dealing with drugs and being able to let mom and pop buy drugs rather than, paying a 3,000% markup, just having it shipped in from Canada. Cory Booker lines up with the fat cats that have put him where he is now. You have to go back and understand Cory Booker. Cory Booker was invented by Wall Street. Sam, he was totally invented by Wall Street. He's up there in pharmaceutical heaven where all the big pharmaceutical companies are. They invented Cory Booker. And so they say to Cory Booker, well, now make sure, Cory, that you're out on the touchy-feely issues about social issues like whether it's race or whether it's gender. Make sure you're out there on that. But, buddy, when it comes to the money shots, you want our $300,000 that we give you from the pharmaceutical industry, so don't vote against us. And let me tell you how outrageous. I'm just so enraged by this. You have people out there that are deciding, should I buy my medication or should I pay my rent? Right. Should I buy medication or do I eat tonight? Should I be able to cut my pill in half so I can make it go twice the distance? Cory Booker knows that. In his argument about, oh, gee whiz, we had to be sure that we were going to get safe products. Really? Really? Is there some epidemic in Canada that nobody's told me about where people are dying from pharmaceuticals that haven't been tested? Cory Booker is a fraud. And Cory Booker is a fraud, Sam, and we got to keep talking about Cory Booker, the fraud, because I don't want him to gain any momentum. I want him to be yesterday's news. I don't care if he's a senator up in New Jersey. I don't care. Let him stay there, but do not put this dangerous character on a national field.
And we should just remind people that about 2 weeks ago, he voted for the Cures Act, which sounds great. But really, what it does is it says we should spend money on cancer. We should spend money on a couple other diseases. It doesn't appropriate the money. The money may never get there. But what it also did is it relaxed standards, and you know this as well as anybody, Pat. It basically relaxed standards in terms of FDA safety, which you know is already Swiss cheese as it stands now, because you've got basically the industry doing their own reports. So if he was really concerned about drug safety in this country, he wouldn't be relaxing standards for the FDA one week and then the next week pretending that somehow Canada was like some type of backroom chemistry lab, and we'd be getting all sorts of freaky stuff from Canada. But this is important. I mean, look, this is important. There's a couple of things that we can glean from this. I mean, aside from obviously specifically a guy like Cory Booker, keep an eye on Bob Casey as well, who voted this way, like I say, about a dozen Democrats, 10 other Democrats who come from states that, you know.
Sam, I called Murray. I called both Murray and Casey because I wanted to see. We're going to do a show on them. On America's Lawyer on RT, and I said, look, send me something to defend what you've done. Let's see, it's no, I haven't I haven't gotten anything from him, but I am going to absolutely decimate Cory Booker, Cantwell, Carper, Casey, Coons, Donnelly, Heinrich, Heitenkamp, all of these frauds. They know they have put mom and pop America in the position of, do I eat or can I buy my medication? And they're well aware of the fact that the Pfizers and the Mercks and the Johnson & Johnson and the Bayers, that they have marked up their products as high. In some instances, this is is high at 6,000% on some of these medications. They know that, and they did this anyway. They don't deserve to be there with a big D behind their name. I don't have any confidence in Democrats to begin with, but they at least are trying to hide behind something that at least is a plausible argument that, gee whiz, I care for people. These people don't care for people. They care about money, and Cory Booker is all about money. We have got to stop the Cory Bookers before they completely destroy the only other party we have running right now besides the Republicans. I don't really care for either one of them, but you have to have at least two parties, and you're going to have Cory Booker decimate the Democratic Party because the discussions out there, go online, he's already getting murdered in social media.